Welcome and thank you for joining me for this week's edition of the Purpose, Value, and Meaning web classes. This week we are talking about how visualization creates your desired life. Most of us are aware of visualization through the use of vision boards, but do we fully understand how doing and creating things like vision boards help us create our desired life and achieve the goals that we want to achieve? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself before I get into tonight's topic. I am Keisha Golder, and I help individuals define their unique purpose so they can live a life that they created on their own terms. I also created the Your Life Purpose Makeover Journey, which is a 3-stage 9-step program designed to not only help you find your purpose, but to build your confidence and help you live authentically. I want to take a second to remind everyone there will be a question and answer section towards the end of the presentation. So if you could hold all questions until then, I will greatly appreciate it. And of course, we are going to recap what we talked about last week. Last week, we spoke about strengths because we all have our own strengths, but sometimes we are unaware of what they are. Last week, we showed you how to identify your strengths, how to use them, and how to allow them to guide you toward living in your purpose. Let's jump right into what we are learning this week. This week, we are learning about what visualization is and how it works. We are also learning the benefits and importance of seeing your desired outcome before it happens. And I'm going to share with you some visualization techniques that you can incorporate into your life as early as tonight. And I am going to demonstrate my personal favorite visualization technique that I have used with my coach that I also use on my own. So let's jump right on in. What is visualization and how does it work? To sum it up, simply, visualization is mental rehearsal. So you create images in your mind of having or doing whatever it is that you want, and you continue to repeat those images over and over again daily. Some people repeat those images daily for at least 5 minutes. Some people do longer. I'm not sure how many of you have ever heard the saying that where you focus your energy is what you will attract. This falls within those lines because you are visualizing your goal and your desired life. So you are focusing energy in the area of your goals and your desired life, and therefore you will attract them. You visualize in the present tense. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, when I get. No, when you are visualizing that you have already gotten it. You have achieved that goal. You have attained this thing, because that means you are actually allowing yourself to see it unfold right before you. We do not hope. Hoping keeps us from achieving because it keeps us kind of in the past or thinking of the future, but not doing anything to move towards the future. We say, oh, I hope to achieve X, Y, and Z, but you're just hoping. You're not doing anything to move towards it. So how does visualization work? Visualization works through using your imagination and imagery. It works because you imagine yourself doing exactly what you want to accomplish. And when you do this, our brains are super smart. So they create patterns when we are visualizing. And these are the same type of patterns that are created when we complete actions. So these patterns teach our brain, and remember, our brains are muscle, to do exactly what we want it to do. So when we're visualizing, our brain is carving out these patterns, and our brain is like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to do it. So when we begin to take steps to achieve those goals, our brain has that pattern already in it. Our brain knows what it needs to do to let us achieve those goals. Here's an example. So visualization is used in competitive sports, and most coaches will tell you that sports are 90% mental and 10% physical, because when athletes are training, they're using mental imagery in addition to their physical routine. So think about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all of these well-known players. They are visualizing shooting the threes. They're visualizing what their jump shots are looking like, in addition to actually practicing. So they're creating those mental images, which are creating the patterns in their heads, so that their brain knows exactly what to do when the time comes for them to achieve those threes and jump shots. When is it okay, or when do we need to use visualization? We use visualization for successful outcomes. You want to see yourself performing at a high level and achieving your goals, you use visualization. You want to motivate yourself to kick it into gear so that you can achieve the things that you want. You use visualization. You see yourself actually achieving those goals, and that reminds you of what you need to do to reach those goals. A lot of people use visualization, not just everyday people, actors, singers, athletes, like I mentioned earlier. They see and feel themselves performing a routine or a program, and they do this several times until it's time for them to actually do it. And it motivates them to continue to give their best, to do their best, so that they have that wonderful performance that they visualize. You use visualization when you want to familiarize yourself with something, or you want to set the stage for something. So a lot of people use visualization to familiarize themselves before they have huge events or competitions. Or before they have to go on stage the first time, they visualize. They take a visual of what their stage looks like. It really is rehearsing without the actual act of rehearsing. You're not rehearsing in front of anyone else. You are in your mind and you're rehearsing, and you're hitting the notes, or you're shooting the shots, or your speech is flawless. You are doing all of these things here, which allows you to exude it when it is time for you to actually perform. And another time to use visualization is when you want to do a run through. So people do run throughs for all types of things. My mother is a person, if she hasn't been to a location before, she does a run through. Now, this is not visualization at the time of her doing the run through, because she's actually taking the time to drive to the location so that she is familiar with how to get somewhere that she's never been. But during her drive, she's picking up on the locations that are around her, the landmarks, the things like that. So when it's time for her to actually go to this place, she won't get lost, because she has made mental notes of those landmarks to help her get to this location that she's unfamiliar with. Now, we're going to talk about some of the benefits of seeing your desired outcome before it happens. Everyone wants to be great. Everyone wants to live their best life. Everyone wants all of these amazing and wonderful things, and we can have them. But we need to be able to see them before we physically manifest them. So what are the benefits of visualization? It helps you focus. When you're able to put your focus or concentration into something, we achieve better results. So I used to be a person who believed in multitasking. You could not tell me that I was not doing great work when I was multitasking. But when I started to work with my coach, I realized that multitasking isn't really a thing because you are not giving equal energy to everything you are doing at one time. Something is going to lack, and you're putting your energy all over the place, and your concentration is all over the place. So there is something that is going to lack. You're going to miss something. You're going to misspell something. You're not going to be able to focus on the important thing because you're doing too many things. A benefit of visualization is it inspires and motivates you. The first time I did my visualization technique that I have grown to love, I felt so good to be able to see myself achieving this thing that I want. I saw who was there. I saw my friends, my family. I saw the building and how the decor looked. I saw what I was wearing. I smelled all of the wonderful smells. I was able to hear the music. These are things, it connects you to your senses and it allows you to feel. And as a result of that, you're motivated to give your goal 110% until you physically see this thing for yourself, not just in here, but you can reach out and touch the building. You can reach out and touch your family and friends at this celebration for you or whatever it is. Visualization helps you improve in a skill or a sport. I'm not an athlete by no means at all. But when I was in high school, and of course, everyone had to take gym, by me not being an athlete, I'm a girly's girl. I wear nails. I have nails. I do, I am a girly girl. When it came time to shoot basketball, I've never played around with shooting basketball or anything like that. But my gym teacher always just imagine when you throw the ball that it goes in a hoop. So I practiced that a little bit. And again, I'm still not an athlete, but I know now, like if I'm just going to shoot around with my boys or something, that if I imagine, I take the time to visualize the ball going through the hoop, there's a good chance that that ball is going to go through the hoop. And so it helps you improve on things. It can be used to rehearse and acquire new positive behaviors. So I mentioned earlier how actors and singers and things, sometimes it's a rehearsal in their mind. Just think about if you have a speech. You just don't go out and do the speech in front of everyone without rehearsing, without getting yourself comfortable. You sometimes stand in front of a full-length mirror and practice that speech and practice the emotions, your facial expressions, your hand gestures. You practice everything so that you're comfortable. You don't have the butterflies when it's actually time to go out and perform. Visualization is good for that. It can boost your mood through positive and pleasant imagery, and it can help you build your self-confidence. Think about it. You're creating what you want in here. And you are connecting your senses, your feelings, your emotions to it. Why wouldn't it help build your self-esteem, help build your self-confidence, allow you, once you've created that vision and you've seen it over and over time again, to go out on the stage like you own it, to do your presentation with so much confidence that even if someone is doubting you, they may begin to doubt themselves because you've got it down and you exude all of the confidence that you need to convey your message. So why is visualizing your goals important? Visualizing your goals is important because you make a habit of visualizing. And sometimes visualization is one of the most important parts of your success because you connect with it. You see yourself being successful and you can connect with it. And so you are on a journey to replicate that success in real life. Visualization is a tool used. And here's the thing. So most of us use vision boards, and I'll tell you about myself. So I was a gung-ho avid vision board maker. I've hosted vision board parties. I've encouraged friends who never heard of vision boards to create vision boards. And then my vision board stopped working for me. And it wasn't that the visions that I was putting on my board were too grandiose. It was because I wasn't connecting with them. I started just going through the motions of picking pictures and words out of magazines without creating that emotional connection. But think about, and I haven't explained the technique, some of the techniques that's coming up, but think about if you are a vision board maker and you apply your vision board and connect it with another technique, how much power that will give your vision to be manifested. Think about that. You have your vision board that you look at every day, and then you start to possibly see it and hear while you're looking at that vision board. How that is a explosion of power. That is an explosion of thoughts that your brain has now created that you have to go after, because now you're not going to be satisfied until you get it. That's what visualization, it makes you hungry for the things that you thought were never possible. But because you've taken the time and you've connected with those desires, you've connected with those goals, and now you know how you're going to achieve them, you're hungry for it and you're going to go after it. And, visualization, you need to be clear about your desired life. You also need to be clear about your goals. You can't just say, oh, I think I want a house on a hill, maybe a 2-bedroom, maybe a 6-bedroom. You have to be specific and you have to be very clear. Because if there is some uncertainty, then you are not able to process your vision the way that you need to process it. Now, let me tell you about some techniques that you can incorporate into your daily life. So, I'm going to tell you first that any person who is beginning visualization should know. You should know what you want. That relates back to the last statement that I said, have clarity. You should know what you want. Be descriptive when you are describing your vision. Be extremely descriptive. Be very detailed. Yeah, the smell of the food in a room may not seem important, but the more detail you use, the more you will be able to connect with your vision. Start visualizing and create emotions. So if you want to create $1 million business and you visualize yourself creating that $1 million business, but you have no emotion connected to it, you don't want to know how you're going to feel when you create your $1 million business. When you make your first $1 million, how are you going to feel? I can tell you how I'm going to feel. I'm probably going to have a waterfall coming down my face, and I'm more than likely going to break out into a praise dance because I've hit a milestone for myself. when so many times before I thought I couldn't do it. But I visualized it. I felt it. I connected with it. I know that I created the emotion with it. So when it happens, the emotion that I imagined, like I said, waterfall coming down my eyes, breaking out into a praise dance, thanking God, my ancestors, and everybody else, that emotion is going to be there. When you are first starting out with visualization, it's not enough to just visualize. And this is even for people who have been doing visualization for a long time. It's not enough to just visualize. You need to take action, daily action. You are not just going to say, I have faith that this is going to happen. Because faith without works does not work. So you need to incorporate daily action into your visualizations and have grit and perseverance. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be, I visualize today, go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow and I'm a millionaire. No, there's going to be some challenges. There are going to be some obstacles. And so I have to be aware and I have to know that this is what I really want. Just like you have to be aware and you have to know that this is what you really want so that you can persevere, so that you can knock those challenges down, so that you can overcome those obstacles, so that you can achieve that desired life, that goal that you want, because that is the whole point of visualizing. Now, here are some techniques. My personal favorite is visualizing yourself succeeding at your goal. This is, like I said, this is probably the most popular aside from vision boards. You create the vision in your mind of you achieving your goal in present tense, not, oh, when I achieve. No, I have achieved said goal. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what it smells like. This is who's with me. All of those things. Now, the next one is cool to me, and I haven't tried it yet, but I do believe I will be trying it very soon. You establish trigger visuals. So you know how we can smell a perfume that maybe our grandma or aunties wore when we were younger, and it triggers memories of them. Or we can eat a food and it automatically puts us back into a moment of our childhood or something like that. Well, this is the same thing. You connect triggers to your visuals. So if you're visualizing and you want to connect a trigger, you put the smell, whatever that smell is that you want to use, cinnamon, perfume, whatever it is. You utilize that smell while you're visualizing. So now every time you smell that smell, your visual is triggered. You can play a song over and over while you're visualizing. And every time you hear that song, you begin to visualize. Like I said, I haven't tried that one yet, but that is definitely on my list to try because I believe that it is one of the coolest ways to visualize because naturally we have senses and it's something natural that happens to us, that smells, food, music, triggers visuals and emotions and memories for us. The next one is creating a vision board. Yes, most of us have created vision boards before. We're all familiar with them. But I'm going to say that you need more than words and pictures. You need to also have emotions and feelings and a connection to whatever it is that you're cutting out. Using note cards to make your goals physical. And this is where you write down your goals with intention and confidence. And you put them somewhere you can see, look at them every day, just like your vision board. Adding positive energy into every instance of your visualization. So no matter what option you choose, and this is not even all of the options, this is just some of them. No matter what option you choose, make sure that you're putting positive energy into it, because the positivity helps to reduce any stress, any anxiety that you may have associated with achieving your goal. And like I mentioned earlier, all of these techniques are great by themselves, but think about how much better they can be if you stack them on top of each other and you utilize multiple methods at one time for one goal. I'm not going to say that you'll get to that goal quicker, but I'm going to say, think of how much power you are giving yourself to meet your goal and obtain your desired life. So before I move on, I'm going to do something with you. I'm going to demonstrate my favorite technique, which is to visualizing yourself succeeding at a goal. So I want you all to get comfortable and close your eyes. Now that your eyes are closed, see yourself achieving your goal. Is your goal to make $10K a month? Visualize yourself the moment that you find out you have made $10K in a month. Is your goal to get married? Visualize yourself saying "I do" to your husband. Whatever your goal is, visualize it. Now, while you're visualizing, begin to look around at the people who are there. Look at the people who are there. Connect with them. While you're looking around, what do you see? Colors, artwork, whatever. What is it that you see? How are the people reacting that are in your visual? How do you feel? Now, you see, you feel, you hear, you taste, you smell, all of these things. Picture yourself floating outside of your body and hovering over your visual. Looking down on your visual. You floated outside of your body and you're looking down on your visual. And as you're looking down on your visual, you see that you have achieved your goal. This is the image of you achieving your goal. Internalize those feelings. But make sure that you tell yourself, this is how I am going to feel when I achieve them. Now float back down into your body and connect the visuals with your feelings, and mentally take note that that is how you're going to feel once you have achieved those goals. Because sometimes we can get lost and feel that, oh, I visualized it, so our brain gets confused. And sometimes, oh, well, it's done. Let me check that off the box. No, you visualize it as you want it to happen, but you have to float outside of yourself to know that it is a visual. It's not the actual process happening. So now I want you to remember something. And I want you to remember that If you can dream it, no matter how big or small, you can achieve it. Just like the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. If you dream it, you can achieve it. I now open the floor up for any questions. You can unmute yourself, type it in the chat box, whatever suits you best. Just let you know, and I'll take the time to answer your questions. You know, I love to keep in touch with you all. Here's where you can find me. You can find me on Facebook at Coach Keisha. You can find me on YouTube at Keisha Golder, LinkedIn, Keisha Golder, and of course, my website, www.keishagolder.com. In the next web class, next week, we are going to talk about how your core values relate to your success. Now, here's the Your Life Purpose Makeover Journey, the 3-stage 9-step program. Everyone's not going to need every step. Everyone's not going to need every stage, but we work through what needs to be worked through. So if you just need clarification on that first stage of knowing me, we're going to work through each step so that you know who you are, what you value, how your values are benefiting you. Are they holding you back? Okay, well, if they're holding you back, let's get rid of them and incorporate some new ones. What does my belief system look? What does the belief system look like? Am I loaded down with limiting beliefs? Okay, well, let's get rid of those limiting beliefs and replace them with unlimited beliefs. We work through all of those things so that we are confident, so that we are authentic to ourselves, so that we realize our purpose. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have an amazing rest of your night.